Good morning.
Hi, how are you, Janie?
All right. I'm having my coffee.
Okay. Um, so what are we talking about today?
Today, I thought that maybe we should talk a little bit about what we're working on as co-directors and our division of labor. Some people have reminded me that we haven't officially told everybody what we're doing, and a lot of people don't necessarily know what we're doing.
Yeah,
So, John, could you start us off?
sure. So I think the main point is that um, it starts with us working with each other and having regular conversations and, really thinking through what are we trying to do, what is important, what is really happening. Both of us draw on different parts, different networks in the Shambhala community, both locally and internationally.
Yeah.
And, trying to pull all that together, trying to make sense of it, trying to look at, well, what's needed, what kind of uh, efforts should we focus on, and learning from each other, and so actually these videos, this the second video of the series comes from that idea that we're learning a lot. And actually I learned something kind of um, uh, to my chagrin, looking at the video, first video that we recorded last week, and seeing myself interrupt you several times and thinking, oh, that is not cool. So,
Uh, Except, wait, audience. I'm from New York City. It's part of my culture to interrupt. I interrupt John all the time. And I don't
not as
even notice
politely
when
as
he
this
interrupts
time.
me. Maybe you're just showing cultural competence.
So anyway, learning to work with together, I think, is in some ways a fundamental of Shambhala
Yeah.
and a fundamental of leadership, and it really makes me wonder, how do people that don't work as co-directors actually do this job?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
couldn't
among
do
other
this
things,
without you, John.
there's so much to do. I mean, and I wonder whether that's a peculiar thing about Portland. Have we set things up so that it requires 70 hours a week? I mean, or it asks for 70 hours a week, um, or what? Or is it just the nature of the beast? And I've, as an outsider, I just have always been naive. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think maybe it's important for folks to know that when we signed up as co-directors, we both signed up to work 10 to 12 hours a week. We've both been working a lot more than 10 to 12 hours a week.
Yeah,
I'm working about 20, sometimes more,
yeah,
and John's similar.
yeah.
So eventually we might try to go back to what our original contract was, but
Yeah, to
we
something
would
that's
need a lot of help if that were the case.
normal and sustainable. And I think that I mean, one of our goals is that when we step down, we leave things so that uh, the next people who are in this or similar role have a reasonable uh, kind of agenda that will not be so difficult. So the areas that I'm focusing on are council meetings, trying to um, kind of get the council uh, to um, focus on what really needs to focus on. More longer range, less day-to-day business, and to engage in looking at those fundamentals of who we are and where we're going. So part of that is working with Jennifer Green to get the whole transparency and minutes thing going.
Jennifer Green is our new council secretary.
Yeah. And then also work developing this idea of an ops meeting where Janie and I meet on Zoom on Tuesdays these days, Tuesdays at noon every week for an hour, and we turn it off after an hour. Um, and
Sometimes.
wait a minute, we have a rule. We have there was one meeting where we kind of went longer, but the rule is that when it's 1 hour is done, then we get off, and we try and make it fit within that hour. And then we send out notes from that meeting to council so that council knows what's going on, and other people that have administrative roles also have that sense of what is going on. And
to sum it up, it's basically a meeting where we talk about all the operations and communications that need to go out that week.
Yeah.
So that the office manager and people on the communications team, like Laura Bird, can plan ahead and plan their week, and make sure to get everything out on time without, too much stress.
And can, a bunch of people, the council, Thatcher, Janie, or I, put items on that agenda. And the idea is that we're trying to, at least coordinate to know what's going on. If not solve all the problems, at least have some sense of what's on the list. And I'm trying to network with the elders in the community and just kind of like really push and assess, well, what is it that they think needs to be done, and kind of really suss that out because, So Janie, what do? We have 30 seconds left.
Thanks, John. So I'm working with membership and volunteering. I'm working with Abby Pleviak on volunteer coordination and recruitment. I'm working with Misha and the practice and education team on our practice and education and programming. And I am working with Mark Douglas on societal health and well-being. So community care stuff, community conversations. So I'm really looking kind of at the well-being of the community, both psychologically and spiritually. And then I also have projects going with Culture and Decorum, with Bettina, some kind of fun events and stuff like that.
Yeah. So this is to be continued. I
think we have to go over. I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because we haven't talked about the third member of our team.
Oh, Thatcher. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did some restructuring of the office and our roles, and we brought Thatcher on as office manager to be part of our team, rather than an employee as it had been in the past. We had both noticed that the office manager position often seemed, kind of, maybe oppressive is too strong a word, but there had been a tendency for that person to get overloaded and maybe a little bit worn down. And so we consciously, in our kind of desire to really start supporting non-hierarchical and collaborative structures in how we operate as the Portland Shambhala Center, we kind of raised Thatcher's office manager position to be one of a team member. And Thatcher works on publicity and registration, and managing the office, restocking, and also general inquiries and kind of whatever's needed.
Yeah. So, I think one characteristic of where we're at is that it's kind of really evolving as we go. And what we're saying today is a snapshot. And, as we figure out more things or other people come on board or leave, then we're adjusting as we go. So we should kind of leave it at that. Okay. Bye.